Welcome to Wedding BFF. My name is Kate Schmidt and I am your host. As a self-taught wedding planner and owner and chief planner for Celebrate by Kate, I am passionate about creating wedding days that are memorable and tangibly feel like the couple that is being celebrated. On this podcast, you will hear from myself and other guests tips on planning, mindfully creating a day that not only looks but feels good, and how to budget your way to the wedding day of your dreams. Now let's get to discussing your day, your way. Hello everyone, it's Kate back on Wedding BFF. Today I'm actually, as you can see, I'm in New York City. I've been here for a couple days for a Galentine's event and a couple fun things, seeing some relatives, and it's been wonderful. So as per usual, when I'm in a hotel is when I feel like podcasting the most, as strange as that might sound. So today I wanted to do my second episode of Timeline Tea, and this one is specifically tailored to how much time to allocate for some of those more landmark, I dare say traditional events within the wedding, how to allocate accordingly. Some are going to be really logical, others you're going to be like, Kate, what are you talking about? So I wanted to run through them so you have an understanding, because if you are planning your own wedding, all of your vendors are going to require different amounts of time and in order to use their expertise to your advantage, right? We're not going to do 30 minutes of portraits only. That just doesn't work. So I'm getting ahead of myself here, but I wanted to start with kind of in the morning. So your makeup service, if you are the bride, or if you're getting something else done, that one is going to take at least 75 minutes, so an hour and 15 to, I would say 2 hours, depending if you're doing airbrush, whatever. I will never, don't quote me on that too much, because your makeup artist will let you know. How early you start is completely up to how many people need to be done, how early you need to be done, and things like that. Going into a first look, I'm a sucker for a big first look, exciting first look. I usually say between getting people in position, and this could be a first look, let's say, for example, this first look is with your father first, or a father figure, or whoever, and then with your fiance. So usually I would allocate at least 15 to 30 minutes for this, because we have to have people in position. They have to be, facing the right position. You have to have your videographer, your photographer, whoever else in the right spots, not on the shot. It takes a while to corral people, and especially because it's supposed to be like the mystique of the moment is really important. I highly recommend 15 to 30 minutes and not something that you rush. Okay. Another thing is the ceremony. That is going to vary so much depending on what kind of ceremony you're planning. I mean, I have seen Jewish wedding ceremonies be 15 minutes. I have seen Catholic wedding ceremonies be 60 minutes. I've seen most commonly non-denominational are at about that 30 minutes is their sweet spot. It really depends though, and who you can look to specifically is either your officiant, your priest, your rabbi, whoever. They will know how long the service takes, and you can go from there. Okay. Getting to cocktail hour, I know this seems self-explanatory, but I'm going to offer you a CBK tip here. So for cocktail hour, it's very obvious that it should be an hour, right? However, what I am suggesting more and more moving forward is an hour and a half cocktail hour, because a lot of times you're coming from portraits, and that's not something to skimp on, not something to go through really quickly. You want to make sure that you have enough time for that, and sometimes that means you show up 30 minutes late to your cocktail hour. I've seen a variety of things over the years, but also cocktail hour is like the first kind of part of the group party, like everyone party. You've been living it up all day, but this is like fun when you get to see friends, family, colleagues, that aren't in the wedding party and really get to celebrate. And it's the perfect time to catch your breath a little bit. Not to mention, if you wanted to talk to everyone during the cocktail hour, which I don't recommend, but you would need more time to be able to do that. So this gives you the ability to be late, if that's just how time is lining up, but also be able to enjoy it and not skip straight to dinner and sitting down. Okay, toasts. So it's really going to depend on how many you have. What is really common right now is 5 minutes and under per person. The usual toast, if you will, father of the bride, best man, and maid of honor, matron of honor, usually speak. So anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes, I would say. Be really strict about that and those expectations. I've had Some people like really take advantage of that time and kind of not necessarily add the most value. So really be transparent with some of your family members or your best friend or whoever is speaking about that. And it's something where, if you work with CBK, we're always giving you that probably 15-minute heads up that you're about to be up, and we work with each speech giver to keep them, in the loop and not going to the bathroom at the wrong time, things like that. And we kind of just usher it throughout because we're getting the mic to the right people. The transitions take a little bit of time, but with me, the goal is never for it to take much time at all. Like, I'm talking 1 minute in between speeches, max. I mean, that's even long. So that is toast dances. Really depends. I'm still seeing those a lot. I think they are a little tired. I will be doing them, but we'll combine father, daughter, mother, son at our wedding. Specifically because I just am able to, being the only sober one at a wedding, right? Most of the time, the only sober one. Meaning there's other guests who aren't drinking. I'm not drinking. But being that only one, I observe guest behavior quite a bit. And people just don't really necessarily cherish that activity. And that's their prerogative, right? I'm not telling you not to do the dances, but perhaps combining father, daughter, mother, son is a great idea, or whatever significant person you want to do that dance with. And then a first dance. Everyone loves the couple's first dance. I mean, it's still not the most exciting part of the night, but it usually, you can allocate that time with like 1 to 2 minute cushion in between based on how long the song is. And what I've been seeing more and more is not the full song. So something to consider. You can get to the party sooner, which is exciting. You can kind of let your hair down proverbially and maybe literally, I don't know. But that is one thing with the dances. I skipped, well, you can do dances during dinner if you want to. So I guess we'll go to dinner. If it is a plated meal and it's really, so if you have, I would say over 125 people, this is going to be pretty standard buffet, or it'll take longer for plated most of the time. You're going to need about 90 minutes. It seems like a really long time. It actually goes pretty fast. And if you think about feeding that many people, it tracks. But as with makeup timing and everything I brought up before, when you're dinner service, when you're figuring out that timing, talk to your caterer and respect whatever timeline they give you and work it in. And as always, build in pockets here or there where you can play catch up. Okay, bar service. So here's the thing about bar service. I have like strong feelings about what's allowed and what's not allowed. And again, it's because I'm like just I'm observing people, there's downtime during the day. And so I see a lot of things. And one thing is, usually it's allocated like this, at least in Milwaukee, where there will be time when the bar is closed because you have 5 hours of bar, 6 hours of bar. And everyone's there from like 5 to midnight. That's 7 hours. So during dinner service, so people aren't getting up during toasts or dances or whatever, you are choosing to shut the bar down for that hour. There is no reason to keep the bar open. So when it comes to bar service, it should start as soon as your cocktail hour starts. In some cases, if you can work it in and have it be, have champagne flutes ready or something like that before the ceremony, that's great. But I always recommend at least an hour that there is no alcohol. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And we got to soak up the food. We got to have a late night snack later. That's my thought on that. Definitely consider taking your venue up on that break in the bar for the sake of the programming, staying on schedule, no blatant interruptions, things like that. Okay, portraits. I kind of skipped this. So it really depends if you're doing a first look or not, but I say 60 to 120, so 1 or 2 hours should be allocated for portraits. I know you think it's a couple quick snaps, but like if your engagement photos, if you chose to do those, taught you anything, it all takes longer than you think. Sometimes it takes a while for you to get acclimated and comfortable. And so that's really what I recommend when it comes to portraits. Other parts of the day, those are the staples. I would say, dessert service. I'm a big dessert display type of person for efficiency purposes. Late night snack, again, a display. We're not like, you don't need that to be butler passed. People will feed themselves, especially if it's at 9 o'clock at night. But those are kind of the main things. So for Timeline Tea today, it was going over first look, ceremony, portraits, toasts, dances, dinner, bar service, cocktail hour, and how that all kind of comes together. And obviously, it's an incredibly long day. Makeup takes longer. Everything takes longer than you think. And the last thing you want is to be rushed on your wedding day. So that is my 2 cents on some of those landmark wedding day events. And I hope you found that helpful. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for listening. I'm thrilled that you joined us today. Feel free to check out CBK on Instagram at Celebrate by Kate, spelled CELEBRAIT, by, and my name Kate, KAIT, as well as various other online channels where we share our sparkle with the world. Thanks again for joining your wedding BFF. Cheers to your day, your way.